Hey guys, it is Tony from Swole Tony's Training Solutions. Today we are starting a new segment. We're going to be doing a Foodie Friday. I'm going to preface this by saying I am a fitness professional. I am not a culinary expert. So I'm kind of learning right alongside you guys. So if anything is egregiously incorrect, please forgive me. Today's recipe, we are going to be making some French onion soup. So step numero uno, we have a bunch of onions here. We're going to chop these suckers up, get them ready to go in the pot. All right, guys, onions are all chopped up. I'm going to use about half of them in our recipe today and the other half going to save for later. Next step is going to be the caramelization. So we're going to cook those up in a pot and really bring that rich flavor out of the onions. First step of that is going to be coating those in some extra virgin olive oil. So we're going to go ahead and give that a nice liberal coating here. Then we're going to toss that up, chuck it in our pot, and get that process started. All right, guys, we have our onions in the pot. These are cooking up nicely. We're going to cook these in the olive oil for about 15-20 minutes till they start to get tender, and then we're going to add some butter and continue that process of caramelizing, really bringing out that rich flavor. Now, while this is going on, I also have my broth here. So I have 4 cups of beef broth and 4 cups of chicken broth. And while the onions are cooking up, I'm going to reduce this down, and we are going to add some bay leaves, some thyme, and some crushed rosemary to add a little bit of flavor to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of liberally add that in there. And again, we're just going to kind of cook this up and reduce it down while our onions are caramelizing. And that's going to give this some flavor and just give it a little bit more punch to it. So again, just kind of spitballing on these quantities here. Toss a couple of those bay leaves in. And we're just going to let this cook up. Keep an eye on it, taste it, and get that going just right while our onions are cooking up as well. All right, guys, once our onions have gotten nice and cooked up and nice and soft in the olive oil, we're going to add in some butter. It's going to help with this caramelization process here. So we're just going to toss these couple of chunks in, get that melted, and keep cooking these up for an additional at least 45 minutes to get them nice and brown. But the longer the better. The more you're going to really bring out that kind of rich flavor you got going on. All right, while we're waiting on those onions to caramelize, guys, we have a couple of cloves of garlic here. We're going to go ahead and mince these up and then toss them in when those onions start to really get nice and brown. All right, so as we see, our onions are starting to brown up nicely here. To help this caramelization along, we're going to add a little bit of salt into this here. And to give it a little bit of that sweetness, we're going to add a little bit of honey to help it along. Finish that bottle up. All right, guys, now that we've got that in the mix, we're going to continue, cook this up for another 10 to 15, get those onions a nice golden brown. All right, guys, onions are nice and brown here, so next step we're going to do, we're going to take that garlic that we minced up earlier, toss that right in there, and we're going to cook that about a minute more before we deglaze this sucker with some vinegar. And then we add that stock right in there. And guys, got the garlic in there. And mix that up, cook it for about an additional minute. All right, guys, garlic's been cooked in there. Now we're going to take a little bit of this red wine vinegar. We're just going to use that to deglaze our pot. So we're just going to scrape any of those crusty brown bits up. And then next up, we're going to add that right into our stock. All right, got everything in our pot, guys. Now we're going to simmer this for about 30 minutes, and then our soup will be ready to go. All right, so we're waiting on our soup to finish up. While we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get some of our nice French bread here. Going to toast this up, get this ready to go. We have a little bit of olive oil here. We're just going to take a light brushing right on our bread here. And then we're going to pop those suckers in the air fryer. Fry them up for about 5 minutes or so, get them nice and crispy. Add some cheese right onto those. Guys, we'll brush up that other side. Get a nice good coat on there. And let's get those bad boys nice and toasty. All right, so we got a little bit of brown and crisp to our bread here. Next step, we're gonna take some of this freshly grated Gouda cheese. Top that up right on top. And we're gonna keep these out until soup is almost ready to go, and then we'll pop these bad boys right back in the oven. Get that cheese nice and melty and bubbly right on top. All right, guys, we're finally looking at our finished product here. So while this has been simmering for about 30 minutes, I've been adding salt, pepper, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to taste. We have our nice big bowl here. Our nice loaves with our smoked Gouda cheese on it. All I'm gonna do to finish up, drop this right in there. And that is gonna be bon appetit. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Look forward to doing it all again next week. Remember to subscribe for more good content, food, fitness, and otherwise. Catch you again very soon.